Hello everybody, it's Auston Holleman back with another interview, and I have a very important person in the travel community. It's Mr. Greeze, the producer of Frustrated 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Wow. A little bit about myself. Born and raised in New York City.
Yeah.
Filmmaker. Started doing film, so really started reaching out and traveling about 2005. 2005, and stumbled across Brazil. Best time of my life. Enjoyed it. Came back.
First trip?
Out the country? It was not Brazil.
Okay.
It was not Brazil, but my fourth trip.
Okay.
Fourth trip out of the country, started traveling out of the country, man, before they had the whole travel community and shit together, man. So, stumbled on Brazil, loved it. Came back, some of my friends, close friends, I want to share their experience with, like, yo, you got to get out, you got to go here, you got to check this out. And they wives and shit looking at me, they significant others and shit, and you started seeing them getting distance. You know what I mean? They didn't want them around me, man. I was cool with that.
Did you start recording them? Okay.
I was cool with that, man. Yeah. And was hanging out in D.C. Met this my man, Dr. Davis, Dr. Larry Davis, and met him. We started chopping it up, and he was speaking Portuguese.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, you been out there? He's like, nah, man. You heard about the shit that was going on with the magazine and all that stuff, man? And I was like, nah. So I did a little research. I went back out there. Ran across the big homie, Johnny Johnson. Johnny Johnson was real pivotal, man, because he kind of opened the door for me, showing me how to maneuver through.
Yeah.
Because I would come out there with a different lens, looking for something different and looking for about what they were talking about. Mm-hmm. So teach you how to move, where to go, where not to go, and all that stuff. You had John Thompson out there, who was kind of like the point person if you needed an apartment and shit. That's pre-Airbnb.
Yeah.
So he had the lock on that. You need an apartment to stay, and he gave you the ropes too. Hooked you up with cell phones, show you how to communicate and shit if you ran into some problems. So filmed that, came back to the States with it, chopped it up, mayhem. The rest is history though. From the internet just blowing up and YouTube and everybody just like, yo, you see that frustrated, see that frustrated, see that frustrated shit. And
how did that feel?
It was, to be honest, I haven't really sat down and reflect on that because it's still moving. When you, for me, it gave me like a purpose.
Yeah.
It gave me a whole different idea. It gave me a purpose. So I wasn't sitting back reflecting on it, but it just got crazy. And from doing film festivals and seeing the response there, and chicks bugging out, dudes bugging out, and being attacked and shit like that. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I got something. I'm on to something. And, kept going, kept pushing, and then doing the child support, looking into that, doing some research on that, doing a film on that, on the whole child support, how they hem brothers up, man. Because you had a lot of brothers that wanted to move, but couldn't move.
Yeah.
They were trapped in the whole child support system.
Yeah.
So I gave them some information on that. Came back frustrated 3. Still, it's cool, man, because I get to meet cool brothers. I see brothers out and about, living their best life, enjoying life, and appreciative of the content and stuff that I provided, man. I get to sit down with you, chop it up with you in a whole nother continent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm still appreciative from not so much what I gave, but what it's still giving me back. You know what I mean? So when I go out and travel and I see brothers, they appreciate it. Oh, that's Greeze, and want to sit down, chop it up with you, see the young cats getting out too. So I'm appreciative, man. I love it.
Okay, so what made you fall in love with Brazil? Or what was your feeling the first time you went?
My first time I went, man, I was just looking to have fun. Mm-hmm. Going out there with no expectations.
Yep.
Want to see what it had to offer. I did the local, the Dominican Republic and all that.
Yeah.
And really wasn't impressed with it.
Yeah.
That was just me. I didn't like the infrastructure. I didn't feel safe there.
Yeah.
So when I went to Brazil, still no expectation, don't know what to expect, because in my mind, they're telling me that's a third world country.
They always say, yeah.
Right, third world. When I got there, you've been in the malls and all that shit. So
better than the malls in the States,
better than shit. I was like, this third world?
Yeah.
I'll fuck with, I get down with this. I can fuck with this, man. And had a good time, just looking to have fun. So I'm in transit. So the people you run across, looking to have a good time as well. They know you out there looking to have a good time, so you know you connect with them, had a good time. But at that time, they had Club Help.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Man, that's legendary.
Yeah.
You know, to me, when they shut that down, that's the greatest travesty known to mankind when they closed that club down.
Really?
Man, I was hurt. A lot of dudes was hurt, but you go there, man, and everybody was having a good time. I was meeting brothers from all over the place, and we were connecting and shit like that, man, and I enjoyed it. So I kept coming back, and then I ran across Charles Tyler.
Yeah.
Now, Charles had vision. Charles, visionary, man. He had vision. Started putting, you know, first guy to actually put a group together based on that, and was inviting brothers out as a group, going to Brazil and doing the beach. And I met a lot of cool brothers through him, man, and started connecting with like-minded individuals, man. Like I said, most of the friends I have are not in the States, outside the States. I'm here now on a group trip with BMO. You know, just waiting for them to link up over here, and cool brothers, cool friendships. So Brazil just, you know, once I got to learn the culture a little bit, man, and started seeing people that looked like me, and they were embracing me, and started seeing the Afro-Brazilians and moving around and seeing the black culture and stuff there, you know, it kind of slid right in for me.
Okay. So have you yourself ever been in trouble in Brazil personally?
Define trouble. Because there's good trouble and bad trouble.
So trouble like I may go to jail, may get hurt?
Never. I've been going for over 10 years. Never had an incident with the police. Never had an incident where I felt I might be in there. Only one time. One time being in the favelas, and I had my phone out, man, and lost track of my surroundings. You know, we used when the phone rang and somebody called me, and I was waiting for them to come up and just snatched the phone out and got on the phone, and that's a no-no. That's a no-no in the favelas.
Yeah.
And I got approached, put the phone away. I just put my phone away, man, apologized, put my hands up, let them know there was no threat here, and, you know, slid off into the little van they had, and, you know, that's the closest. And so as far as dealing with the police and all that stuff, no issue.
Okay, so I've been waiting to ask you these questions I'm about to bring to you, and I want you to be completely honest.
Why wouldn't I be? Why wouldn't I be completely honest?
Which I feel like you are.
I ain't got shit to hide.
Okay, so you know I got into a lot of trouble in Brazil.
Yes.
And I know you are a Brazil vet. What is your opinion on what happened?
Well, from what I saw from the video that you did, that kind of sparked the whole thing, I didn't see anything wrong.
Okay.
Based on the question that you had asked the young lady. But I also could see how somebody can take that out of context.
Yes.
And which they did. And you have to be conscious of, especially when you're in other countries and stuff, there may be an individual or individuals looking to come up as well and looking to start an issue. And who may look at what you were doing were actually capitalizing off of them and not giving back to them. You got a lot of content creators that go out and be like, yo, let me do this, and they know the bottom line that they're gonna make money off of that. They're gonna put it on YouTube or whatever, monetize it and get some bread, and you ain't sharing that bread with them. So somebody may look at it in that way, that you were doing that to the young women and stuff out there.
Yeah.
You know, what you might see as innocent, but anytime you're in a different culture, a different country, a different culture,
move differently.
Yeah, people move differently. Like, well, Salvador moved different than Copa.
Yeah, I can see that now.
Copa move, Copa move a little bit different than Bahia. Yeah. Just like in the States, the South move a little different than the North.
Yeah.
The Midwest and the West move a little bit different than all of us.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to just be conscious that where you're going and how they move a little bit before you pull the camera out on them like that. That's the only critique I would say, and also having a reference out there. Yeah. Like, I was fortunate when I was out there filming, I had a big homie, I had Johnny Johnson, and I had John Thompson. So when I was like, yo, I need some chicks to interview, John was like, yeah, I got you. He's been, John, I don't know if you know John Thompson, old vet, been out there for about 30 years.
Okay.
So when I said, yo, I needed
I heard about him.
some chicks to interview, he was like, I got you. And he came through. I had paperwork I had paperwork, release forms and ship form. I'm from a film background. So it's a little bit different than, YouTube and stuff like that. I come from a film background, so I know I need release forms, I need documentation and stuff. So whatever footage I put out on you and somebody try to come back with, shit, well, here's the paperwork. Here's the paperwork. Where's the problem? What's going on? Where's the problem? So that's it, just having a big homie and somebody to help guide you through, maneuver through this, especially somebody who's been there.
Yeah.
So, I try to tell guys that. A lot of guys now, when they want to go to Brazil, or guys that want to travel, they'll hit me up. Like, Greeze, I want to go there, what's up? All right, but look, this is how it is over there, this is how it is over there, don't do this, don't do that. You need this, you don't need that, and you probably get that now.
Yeah.
A lot of cats with that. See, they come in, they look at you different now because you got experience there, so they'll be like, yo, Auston, I want to go to Brazil, what's up?
Yeah, I still get that.
Right, so you're like, well, this is what's up over here, this is what's up over here, this is what's up over here. Stay out of there, and you should be good.
Okay.
Good. Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
No, control your alcohol, control that.
Absolutely.
But I felt when it first went down, and then I got hit with some articles and stuff, like, yo, this was going on with Auston, this was going on with him. Then I would have legaled up right then and there.
Yeah.
I would have legaled up right then and there because you could have countered that shit with some slander shit.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So, shit taken out of context and shit. Even then, I tried to reach out to you.
Yeah.
But make sure you was all right.
Yeah.
Make sure, first and foremost, you was all right. Then I saw that you had bounced the shit off.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good, though. But that was my reaction.
Well, I appreciate you reaching out. I was so overloaded with messages, I still haven't seen it. But do you think, had I not left Sao Paulo that day, because I was in Sao Paulo when all that happened, do you think that, how dangerous do you think it would have been in the following days? Because it was getting worse for about a week straight.
Well, I think I saw somewhere they said that you was receiving death threats.
Yeah.
And in another country, you can't take that lightly.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe at home, you can figure it out where it's coming from and kind of...
you know where you at.
Right, you kind of level off the threat, like, who's threatening me?
Yeah.
Is it this, that? It's coming from there. I need to be a little bit more careful and stuff like that. So once I saw that you were receiving death threats, I got concerned. That's when I had reached out. I was like, yo, I still got some points of contact out there or whatever, but then I saw that you had bounced, which I was relieved. That's a great thing because, you, in another culture, another country, you don't know how to take shit like that.
Yeah.
So remove yourself from the situation, and maybe if you can deal with it from the outside, you know what I mean, and then go back and deal from that way. But I was relieved that you were safe and that you had got out the situation. But I don't know where you stand at now with the situation. But I wouldn't just let some slander you like that.
No, it's not.
Because it may
not
come back,
happen.
right? Because if you kind of let it go, then it's kind of add truth to it. Like when somebody when they get charges lived against them and they don't fight, they just like want that shit to go away on its own. That's not how it works sometimes.
I'm just waiting to get to a point where you ask a question because he's going to be talking and this camera's not going to be.
Okay.
It's going to be on a different angle.
Okay.
Behind it.
So, I have an issue with the major news headlines in Brazil, which is CNN. It was Global. I think it was like something that started with an F that they have out there. Mundo Negro. They all published, and Stephanie Ribeiro, that lady.
Yeah.
They all published that the MP of Bahia had me under investigation, currently under investigation. 3 or 4 times they published an article saying that. So I had my lawyer, hey, can you do a federal and a state level research on my name? And it took 2 or 3 days to come back. They found nothing, nowhere. And she even gave me a verification certificate saying that nothing contained, nothing ever, no investigation ever present. And so that's like, oh, I got him now. That's a slander completely because you got me looking like a criminal. Because if I say, oh, we're investigating you for rape, and there was never no rape. Now, no matter what happens, people go like, that's a suspected rapist, So yeah, I get what you mean by that, and I'm not letting
because
that slide
even if I said, I didn't rape anybody, so I'm not going to entertain that and just let it go by the wayside because I know I didn't rape anybody. But like you said, there's people out there who will say, "Oh shit, that's the rapist," and you don't know who may take matters in their own hands.
Yes.
When you're still out there and you want to cross something, that chick don't know who she is affiliated with, but she's got a little clout there where she was able to do what she did, as far as your name and stuff. But you know, looking back to it, there's, like you said, there's no paperwork to back that up. But then you start breaking it down to threat and where's it coming from and why it's coming from. You know, why is she doing what she's doing? Like I said, they might feel like you was exploiting them by saying, you know, basic question, how long, you know, we was hooking up, how long it take for, well, shit, if I like you, it's on. Brothers, don't deal with that. Come down here, you know what I mean? And then somebody's like, oh, he's exploiting, he's trying to do sex trafficking, because they had you labeled as that. They had you labeled as that, sex trafficking and all that other stuff. That's foolish. Like I said, when I filmed, I asked similar questions to the girls and frustrated one. And they were saying, like, I don't know why these dudes, they come down here, they look in a party, they have a good time, and a lot of them tell us, you know, there's stories about how the women act there, but shit, they don't want them, we take them. You know, we take her because they fun, good-looking guys, got their shit together, let's have fun. Okay, can you sign this? So when something like that was to ever come out, like, yo, he was out here doing it, I got paperwork.
Yeah, that's my mistake. I should have did that.
Yeah, I didn't coerce anybody to say anything. Here's the paperwork. She signed it, and when you signed it, they had to have their little, I forgot the little cards and shit they use, CPF card, you know, and you got the little information on it and shit like that. And we were good, and you know, I paid them some money for the interviews and stuff. So, you know, you can't say they were being exploited by me and shit like that. So when you're trying to grab content, especially when you're doing one-on-one interviews and shit with people, just keep that in mind. You know what, let me protect myself.
Absolutely.
Let me protect myself and do it. If you just taking shots at the beach and nature and all that shit, that it won't come back to bite you. You know, showing how beautiful this shit is. Like, yo, look at this shit. This shit is crazy. This is the price on it. You know what I mean? And this is what it'll cost you. It's beautiful. That won't come back to bite you. But you never know people's agenda. And the best way to do it is, you see a lot of content creators, man, they want to run up on people. You got to protect yourself. Protect yourself, especially being in a foreign land.
Okay, so 2 questions. Would you ever recommend me returning? And if so, should I wait until after a lawsuit is placed against the slander?
Well, it's not an easy answer to that. Because let's say you file that, you win that. Some people are upset about that.
Exactly. I thought about that.
Right. Some people are upset about that. You know, he got away, or he got over, or he messed up the agenda or whatever, and then you pop back up. You know what I mean? And not being familiar with their circle, who know who, who can call who.
Exactly.
You know, safety becomes an issue. You know, you may want to wait till, you know, water seeks its own level. So once the water seeks, you know, levels off and shit, man, maybe it's all cool. What I would do is, this is a suggestion. This is a suggestion. I would reach after, you know, it's found to be false. Everything's cool, so you have no ill will towards anybody. Let's me and you sit down and talk. You know,
with the slander.
No, with Stephanie. Let's me and you sit down and talk. Are you willing to sit down and talk, have a dialogue to see what went wrong? You know what I mean, or what you felt I was doing wrong? And you know, she well, I thought this, well, that wasn't my intention. You have some dialogue with her, that may smooth things over.
And I didn't think about doing that afterwards, but on beforehand, that is what I tried with her. When it was starting to go viral, she was, I'm gonna put this in the news tomorrow, this and that. I said, hey, I think this is a misunderstanding. Maybe there's a cultural difference that I didn't know about, that y'all take this differently. Can I come to your platform, since Brazilians follow you and mostly Americans follow me, can I come to your platform and discuss this and apologize if there was a mistake? And she ignored that.
Well, you should be glad she did, because I wouldn't do that in the beginning.
Okay.
Let's settle this out. Settle this out. I got my lawyer, you got your lawyer. Let's sit down, let the law take place. And once the law take place and that shit is hashed out, then we got precedent that, you know, what you were saying wasn't accurate. And then let's have a dialogue, because there's nothing to gain.
Okay.
But peace. There's nothing to gain. But when you're in the mix of it, you know, like we battling in the mix of it, and I'm trying to get my point, my perspective out. Nah, I don't want to sit down and have peace with you. If you do, I'm gonna slant it to benefit me. It make you look bad. You know, because you don't know who was controlling that interview. So I don't know who's controlling that interview. Then I'm not willing to do it, especially when the battle is still going on. But after the battle has subsided, then we can sit down and we can come with some peace agreement. And I'll listen to you. Show me my errors.
Yeah, exactly.
Show me my errors and where I went wrong, and let you people know that it wasn't my intentions, and we can hug it out and break bread together, and we can move on. Hopefully, we can move on. But I wouldn't do that until everything has come to a head.
Okay.
Because then it's peace. Now we talking peace.
So you think it might take years? Because, you know, lawsuits don't happen quick. You think it takes years?
Well, however long it take for the process to go through, you want to go through that process.
Yeah, exactly.
And once we go through that process, then we could reach out, because one side will feel slighted and the other side. But I'm willing to hear your point. You know, especially if I'm going to go on your platform and you want to talk to me about some stuff that I did wrong and my errors, I'll sit down, I'll listen to you. I'll listen to you. We hash it out. We break bread. We hug it out. Let the people know we ain't got no beef. So you never know who's watching it. They're like, okay, that dude is cool. That dude is cool. He didn't know you shouldn't do this. He didn't know you shouldn't do that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that advice. I've been waiting to ask somebody that's been in Brazil a while that would kindly give me the advice like you did. Because a lot of people claim they tried to help me. In my comment section, they said, oh, the expats in Salvador tried to warn him. It was actually an expat in Salvador that reached out to Stephanie to tell him, you need to look for him in Sao Paulo. He's not in Salvador. I put it up on my channel. I have screenshots of the messages because somebody ratted him out. And he's on his Twitter saying, I'll assist if that ever happens again. I was glad that he got ran up out of here. So I'm like, really, another American assisted and was glad of putting me in danger. You know, he didn't reach out and say, hey, I'm going to tell Stephanie you made a mistake, but don't post any more videos like this, or next time do this. He's like, no, I want something to happen to him, basically.
Well, sometimes people see things a little bit different. He may view you as a threat.
Yep, I believe so.
Sometimes you don't see where you're threatening. Like, I'm just out here trying to educate and warn, but some people don't want that.
Yeah, they don't.
So they'll view you as a threat. I need to shut this down.
Yeah.
I don't want this. I don't want him. I don't like what he's promoting. Now, especially if it's an aspect, he could have reached out to you directly and say, hey, man, this is a little bit inaccurate what you're doing. And if you want to chop it up with me, man, I'd be more than willing to sit down with you and help you guide yourself through. Like I said, I had Johnny Johnson at the time. So Johnny Johnson was out there for 10 years, retired police officer. He was out there for 10 years. So when I met him, we sat down, we broke bread, and then he helped me navigate through. So then I said, yo, you know about that, you know, the whole essence and all that stuff, man, I want to do a film. I'm a producer in film. I want to do this. And he was like, okay, well, if you're going to do this, this is how you need to do this. This is what you need to avoid. Don't be going up to random people.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. He told me, don't do that. Don't run up on random people. Don't put the camera in their face. So I went out there and did some pre-production work. And you know, it was talking to people. And then I had my roster set, so when I came down in the film, I brought the crew and shit down in the film. I had the individuals, had all my paperwork and stuff. That's a little bit different with content creators, because, you know, they're always on the go. They got the GoPro, got their shit, and they're just looking to snatch up content. But, you know, that's unfortunate if that went down like that. That's unfortunate, but you got people, man, who don't understand your purpose. Mm-hmm. You got people who don't understand what you're trying to do. Yeah. And they'll look to sabotage that.
So what would you recommend? No. Now that I got pretty much what I wanted to hear from that, you come out with a Frustrated 4, right?
Well, I got something hot coming out.
Okay.
I can't talk about it right now because some group of guys reached out to me from my work I've done in Brazil, and they're looking to do something on a bigger scale. And I agreed. I jumped on board because I like the premise. I like what they were talking about, and that should be. We start working on that this summer. Okay. So I'm holding off on the Frustrateds right now, but I do got the box set out, coming out, signature box set, because I have high demand for that. People wanted 1, 2, and 3. Okay. You know, they wanted 1, 2, and 3. So I got a whole box set collection that I'm putting out when I get back. It'll be ready in May, first week of May. Okay. So I'll have that out, and Frustrated 1, 2, and 3 is still available. On Greeze Films, GREEZE films.com. So you can rent it, but now you can also buy it. Okay. So I have it out. I have it both ways now.
Okay, cool. So I think that's pretty much it so far.
Yeah. Okay, but let me just say this, man. I'm proud of you, man. Straight up, I like what you're doing.
Thank you.
I like how you're moving. but I just be more conscious of where you're at and your surroundings
Yes.
and how to do things.
Yes.
So I want you to continue, man, to keep going, because you inspire a lot of people, especially the younger generation. Most of the cats I run with are a little middle class and looking to retire, so they're looking to do things a little bit different, man. But if you coming from being sincere about the situation, going back home in the States and seeing how brothers are frustrated or unhappy or what they're dealing with, you see it, because you look at American YouTube, you got shows with men telling men how to move, don't fool with it, you got chicks, if you do this, and you got to have this, you got to have that, and you see the nonsense. So by you traveling, you see how guys can have a good life.
Yes.
Because them chicks back home are delusional.
Yeah.
They're delusional, and we both want the same thing. Brothers, don't sit here and argue with this. Don't get mixed up with this. You want to enjoy life. If you travel a little bit, save that bread, get you a passport, you can enjoy life, and you can meet women from different cultures and backgrounds who will treat you the way you need to be treated. You know, and that's the goal at the end. You know, I tell them all the time, I love you enough to stop fighting with you. I love you enough to leave you alone. I love myself enough to go where women compete for me, not with me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I move. You know, and then you get the backlash of brother, well, y'all can't do this.
Yeah.
We don't think local, we think global. The world is mine. I don't need to think, I don't have to think local. Big companies don't think local when they're trying to make a product.
Yeah,
so why the
exactly.
hell should I think local?
Yeah.
We think global. You could have that. That's all you know. Take that. But I know a little bit more. I know more, and I don't have to sit back and accept that. I don't have to, man. So I like what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I like the way you're moving. But just be cautious.
Yeah.
Just be cautious. Just don't let it deter you. That situation, man. Learn from it.
Oh, yes.
Learn from it. Because in my little world, man, I had people who were like, yo, you see what happened? I said, oh, he this and that. When you see a man, don't laugh at him. Learn.
Yeah.
Learn.
Yeah.
You can stop and learn. You can learn from the young cat. You can learn from an old cat. Just stop and learn. Because you got other guys that's going to be inspired by your work and stuff, man. And just learn. And you don't have to hide from that. Yo, I made a mistake. I didn't know this. You know, let's learn from this.
Absolutely.
Let's learn from it. It's all about learning and growing. But you know, everybody's not mature enough.
Yeah.
Everybody's not mature enough. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have some cats that'll sit there and pray for your downfall because they see you
Yeah.
successful in what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can't help that. You can't, and nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
You can't help
Yeah.
that. But I'm gonna keep shining. I'm gonna keep growing. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and keep growing. But you know, this is like your education. This is school. You know what I mean? So I learn more. So when I go to different cultures and stuff like that, I'll be more aware about how I put my camera and how I post my stuff up and how I interview people. And,
Okay.
and y'all can stay there and watch my shit and sit there and debate about it while I'm doing. I'm creating shit. So that's why I don't really try not to deal with people who ain't producing nothing. You ain't moving, you ain't producing nothing, and you gonna critique my shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gonna critique my shit? Okay, so what you got to offer? You don't have nothing. So that's why I love to take this opportunity to chop with this brother that's doing stuff. You're inspiring people, man, young brothers. So like I said, when I first we did the interview on kosher, on the kosher show, and that's when I first got introduced to you. I was like, wow, this young brother out there, he reaching young brothers. Y'all in trouble. Y'all in trouble, because if this young cat is reaching dudes at 22, 23, telling them to move like this, y'all in trouble.
Yeah.
Y'all in trouble. A lot of young cats may not be able to align themselves with mine because I'm a little bit older. That's cool. That's cool, but y'all got a young cat that's out here doing it. Y'all in trouble. Y'all can sit there and talk all that shit you want. Y'all in trouble. Now, as far as how brother moves, when they get out, I don't care how they move, because water seeks its own level. You may start here, but you're going to end up over here. The more you keep going, you get fascinated with a place, you're going to learn. I seen brothers take on the language. Oh, I love this shit. I'm going to learn Spanish. I love this shit. I'm going to learn Portuguese. I love this shit. I'm going to learn Thai, whatever it is. I'm going to learn this shit. And then they start moving differently. They start venturing out. You may stay at the local spot, but after a while, you'll end up over here as you continue to grow. So when I hear them, the Pookies and the Ray Rays, some of them you just can't help. And they're going to take themselves out. But you'll get some that may start there, but continue to grow. And look at, and team up with other brothers and look at the economics there. Oh, I got a little change. I can go business here. I can do this here. I can live a better life here. So I tend not to judge. I stay away from, I don't judge, but I'll stay away from you in the beginning until, you know, you develop some growth, and then you end up over here, get your reps in. You
Absolutely.
know,
Absolutely.
after you get your reps in, you know, then you can come holler at a vet after you get your reps in. But in the beginning, I kind of, hey man, just be careful from a distance, you know. But appreciate what you're doing, love what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I'm good, man. Just check out, get that Frustrated 1, 2, or 3, greezefilms.com.
And that is the end of the video, you guys. If you like that video, give it a like. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. Make sure you go subscribe to Al Grease's channel as well. It'll be in the description and in the title. I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, my Cash App is $, Auston Holleman, PayPal,
BMO.
and Gmail.
BMO. Check out that black man's option. BMO, baby.
Absolutely. I'll see you on the next video.